Hello everybody, I'm Merrick again, and I'm here again today to show you how to survive in Nullsec. I'm joined with my wife, Sass. Say hello, Sass.
Hello.
Awesome. Alright guys, I'm just going to show you some basic tips on how to survive and some little tricks that you can use to increase your survivability in Nullsec. I'm a little hungover, so my voice may be a little bit rough. So yeah, we're going to go from there. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do, a lot of people have issues with this, and almost all the corps you're going to join are going to require you to do this, but you see how my local window is not attached to my little chat bar. I have it separate. The reason that is because you can see everyone in your system. So if you're out ratting, doing whatever, and then someone pops in, you're going to see a plus right here, so another player will jump in, and then if you go over to your members list settings and show compact members list, they'll be really small, so if there's a lot of people in the system, you can tell who they are. Additionally, my overview may look a little bit different than yours. What I do is I use the Shawa overview, which I'm going to link right here. So just type that into your channels, and you'll be able to use that overview. It's a little bit easier, has color coding, and it's a personal preference, but I prefer to use it. Alright, so we're going to undock here. Sass, can you undock as well? So we're going to do some tips first things first. You never want to just AFK or do anything like that in space. If you're just waiting on something or doing anything else, you always want to be moving. The reason why is a lot of ships like mine or Sass's here, they're going to have issues moving around. If they're sitting still, they're going to get hammered. When DPS applies to them, they're going to get the full DPS. As long as you're moving, you'll get a little bit slower, or a little bit less DPS. Secondly, another trick that a lot of people use, and some people don't realize this, is I have multiple different weapons. So what you can do is group your weapons up. That way they're easier to click. Normally you'll have all of them in one group, so you can just click once and then you'll go. So, Sass, can you jump into ATAC SNID, please? Another helpful tip is when people are telling you system names and whatnot, for some reason the EVE community looks at that little dash and calls it a TAC. So if someone says 8 TAC S, that would be what they mean. So 8 TAC S. Again, this is my Shawa overview. It allows me to differentiate between the different objects. So I have one for planets, my main, which is my PvP window, which I use most of the time. It won't show allies, like you said, it doesn't show Sass. So that might be a problem when I'm trying to lock her here. So I'm going to do is invite her to a fleet, that way I'm easier to lock her. Foreign fleet. Another helpful tip is always be in a standing fleet or some sort of fleet. Depending on your corp, this may be an actual requirement. The reason is, if you're in standing fleet, you can easily jump to that person because they're going to show up as purple. You can click like here, and it'll give fleet warp to member. Sass, can you join my fleet I just invite you to? Or if
I
you...
didn't get it. Can you link it again?
Sure. Invite to fleet. Swing 1, squad member. The other bonus is, if you see like here, if me and Sass are in the same system, I'm going to give her bonuses due to my leadership skill. So that's why you want to be in same squad as the people you're working with, and or in fleet in case you need help. So like I was saying, if you're just waiting along, you see me, I've burned away from the station because I'm not focused, I'm not doing anything, I'm doing something else. What you're going to want to normally do is if you want to just AFK, or you're looking at a different screen, running 3 accounts, always align somewhere. What aligning will do is it'll make sure that, if someone warped in on me and was about to attack me, I can just quickly click warp. I'm already be up to speed, and it'll take me no time at all to warp. If you're just standing there, your ship will do like what mine is doing right now, and it'll have to turn to pick up speed. And then by that time, someone could lock you, and you'll already be dead by then. Another thing you should be doing is staying on comms. I don't know, certain corps have different policies on that, but I know for my guys, we require them on comms at all times. You don't gotta speak, but it allows me to poke you. You're allowed to jump into our different channel and go, guys, I'm tackled. I need help. It's, again, an easier way to get people alerted to what's happening. So the main focus of this video, sorry I'm jumping around like crazy, the main focus of this video is trying to show you what to do in case you get attacked. It's an inevitability in Nullsec that when you're traveling around, you're going to get attacked. So what I'm going to simulate here is a gate camp. So Sass is on the other side of this ATAC snood gate. She should be uncloaked. Are you not?
I am.
Alright, perfect. So say you're just flying around and you get up to the gate. We're about to jump in. One tip before we do this, I'm going to link in the description of this video. There's a website called Dotland. Dotland's a good map instead of using the in-game map. If you have a second monitor or a phone or something like that, it's always good to have it up. It's a little bit easier to navigate. Obviously in Nullsec, all the systems have weird-ass names, and a lot of them will get nicknamed by the people living in them. So it's a good thing to always check that. So we're going to jump in here. As long as I say, we're going to pretend I'm cloaked, that way, because it's a lot to explain, and normally you don't have that much time. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in, pretend you're moving to a site, or heading home from buying this ship. So I jump in, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, so I see 2 more people in this system. There's also enemies on gate, which are probably going to hammer Sass. Sass, do you want to kill those things? Yeah, I'll fucking help you. We'll have to read... I'm going to cut this stupid part of the video. So what you want to do... Well, we'll teach you a fleet engagement here while we're here. Pretend these are enemies. What you're going to want to do is lock them all up at once. Go for the smallest ships first. Get your weapons on. Usually burn your afterburner depending on how close you want to be to them. I'm a close range fit. If you look at your fall off range and your optimal range, you're going to want to be close enough that you can just hammer them. So there you go. I'm within my optimal, so I'm hitting them with a ton of damage. I'm moving, so if you don't want to orbit someone and you just want to move, double click space, or double click your inside space, and you'll just start moving. So alright. Gotta kill this guy, and then we're gonna keep going. Alright, so I'm gonna stop here, slow down, hitting the stop button repeatedly, turn off my afterburner. Sweet ass ship explosion. Alright, so I'm gonna pretend I'm still cloaked. Sass is on the gate. We're gonna pretend she's an enemy. I can't see her. Again, with the search our overview, if you set it up right, you're not gonna be able to see her on the overview. Why? Because she's a friendly. You don't want to see that shit on the overview. It doesn't fucking matter. So, how I'm going to target her is I'm going to use this. So now you can't see her in space, but at least I have the ability to target her. So, okay. So say we're cloaked. You jump into this system. Oh, shit. There's an enemy on gate. Realistically, in a ship like this, if I align out and try to warp, she's going to grab me. So you got 2 options. Before you uncloak, you got 2 options. You either got to fight this, or you got to burn back to the gate. There's 2 different things, so I'm going to show you burning back to the gate. What you're going to want to do there is Sass, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to uncloak. So you're going to want to target me, and then lock and web me, okay?
Okay.
So, what you're going to want to do if you're going to decide to burn back to the gate is before you uncloak, first call for help. If there's anyone in your adjacent systems, or anyone in your system currently, you would call for help. Alright. Otherwise, you're going to have to burn back to the gate by turning on your afterburner or micro warp drive, and just burn in there and then jump in through the gate. The idea is you want your enemy to attack you at least once, because if they attack you, they get a penalty timer and cannot jump through the Stargate. So you'll have tons of time to warp away. So I'm going to demonstrate this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I uncloak. I double click the gate, hit my afterburner on. Sass is going to try to lock me. So go ahead and lock me. So you can see she's yellow boxing me, which means she's locking me. Locking me, locking me, locking me, locking, locking, locking. It takes forever. She's also burning right towards me. Right, she's locked me. Now I'm web and scram. She bumped me. Perfect tactic. So now I have to realign to that gate. Go ahead and start hammering with again, Sass. So now I'm taking damage, obviously depending on who you're attacking. She's gonna... The thing is, you don't want to attack back. If you attack back, shit, I'm having issues approaching this gate. So she did exactly what an enemy's going to do. Bump you. Now you got to spin and try to realign to that gate. So she's attacked me. She cannot jump through the gate. I'm taking mild damage. If you're taking lots of damage, go ahead and turn reppers on or anything else like that. So you would overheat those reppers because obviously, pretend if you were a shield tank, you're taking tons of damage. So she goes through, she's hitting you. If you need to, turn your reppers on. Otherwise, you got to be within 2,500 meters to jump that gate. And then jump the gate. Safe. So you got away. She's got a minute before she can jump through that gate behind you. So you're going to fucking flee. You're going to be gone. You need to get out of this system. Otherwise, most targets are going to come after you. Especially if they've done a lot of damage. They know they can kill you, and they know you have no way to escape. So that's why you always want to be aware of where you are pocket-based and what your out gates are. That way, in case something like this happens, you can go ahead and attack. So, Sats, I want you to keep orbiting that gate. We're going to re-prep the situation. What we're going to do now is an offensive. What we're going to do now is I'm going to jump in. We're going to pretend like this is a player. You think you can kill them. The problem with this is if you've decided this is your course of action and you want to engage them, you give it everything. There's no, oh, I'm going to try, poke them, see if I can kill them, and then warp away. No, if you're going to engage, you got to go two full ways, everything you can do. So, again, we're going to jump in. I already downed on my shield, not a big deal. So you jump in, you're warping around, you're going through systems. Again, you warp into an enemy. So you look, you see your enemy's 15 away. She's right here. You can see her. That red shows that she's engaged. So she is still locked on the gate. So what we're going to do is we're holding cloak. We'll call in allies. No one can come. You look at her. You decided, you know what? I could take this fight. So there's two options here. You either engage her at your proper distance. You try to do a firefight. Or you do what I call showboating. You're going to want to scare her off by hitting her with a lot of damage. So how you're going to do that is you're going to trick her. You're going to turn on your overheat your guns. You cannot do this while cloak. Pretend, once I uncloak, you're going to overload your guns, which will give you an extra DPS boost, but your guns are going to get damaged. So I'm not going to overheat it because I don't want to damage my guns. So I'm about out of cloak. As soon as I'm out of cloak, I'm going to want to start moving. So I'm close range, so I'm going to approach her. She's going to lock me. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lock and scram as well as soon as you get in range. So I'm locking her, she's locking me. So you would overheat your guns. Obviously you just hit her one, or you just start shooting at her. If you get enough DPS, yeah, I'm going to stop. So that's what would happen. If you get enough DPS, you may scare her. You don't weapon or disrupt right away. You may scare her. You can kind of see if you look at her, if she starts to align out or move away from you, she may be thinking that this engagement isn't going to go her way, and she may warp off. If not, you get close. She webs and scrams you, so web and scram me whenever you lock. You really need to train up your locking skills because you take forever to lock me.
I'm already locked.
No, you're yellow boxing. Alright, well, web and scram me. You're going to want to orbit her at about 1,000. So she's weapon scrammed you. This means she wants to take this engagement. You're going to go back and do that to her. Now you're both weapon scrammed. No one can escape. What the web does is slow the enemy ship down. The enemy ship is now slower and easier to hit. What the warp disruptor does, or a warp disruptor or warp scrambler. I have a scrambler. It's a little bit heavy duty, warp scramble strength times 2, and it's a shorter range. So we're both scrammed and webbed, which means neither of us can escape until one of us is dead. So you're going to go full DPS. You're going to overheat everything you got, do everything you can to kill her. There is no if and or buts. You go to your optimal range, you try your best, and see what you can do. There's no way you're really going to get out of this. If you try to get out, you're going to lessen your DPS and you may end up dead anyways. So if you've decided engagement is the best idea, you need to go full out. So we're going to unscram here. Get unscram me, baby. Because that would be great. So say she's warped off. Can you warp off, Sass, and unstop scramming me? We're going to say I'm a little bit damaged. What you're then going to want to do is sit on the gate at about 500. You don't want to follow through because she may be trying to lead you closer to someone else. So you're going to sit on the gate, and as soon as this timer here, this is your weapons timer. The same thing that happened to her, since you've engaged, you cannot jump this gate. You cannot jump any gate. So you're going to have to wait here before you can escape. So that's a basic fleet engage or basic engagement. You're obviously 1v1. If your ship's not built, you may not have a stasis webifier or some type of warp scramble. So that's, going to limit your ability to kill your enemy, because they're going to be at any time able to warp away, and you're probably going to be weapon locked. So you're really going to start knowing your engagements and picking a fight. Obviously, your first couple, you're going to be filled with adrenaline. It's going to go really fast, probably under 60 seconds. So, these decisions have to be made as quick as possible. The more and more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So I suggest using a ship, obviously that's a little bit less expensive. I'm just going to show you some ships right now. That'll be good. Sticking with cruisers or destroyers are kind of your best bet for engagements. Why? Because the frigates are really small. Any ship down in Nullsec, probably 1-2 hit a frigate. I almost one hit Sass's shields down. So, and I'm in a battle cruiser, the Harbinger Navy issue. So what you're going to want to do is try to stick with one of your ships. If you're going to decide what ship you want to use, the best way to do it is you click on, let's say you want to use, I can use that ship. Let me just warp around here. What can I and can I not use? Oh, I can use everything. Wow, crazy. Alright, I'll go back to Amar. Actually, I'll stick with Kaldar. Sorry I'm bumping around here. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. Say show info, you want to use this Caracal. Caracal's a good little ship, uses rockets. If you look here, it's got a bonus, 5% bonus to rapid light missiles, heavy missiles, and a heavy assault missile launcher rate of fire. And then 10% bonus to light missile, and heavy missile max velocity based on your cruiser skill. So you want to fly the ship. You look at the requirements, you've got all the requirements, that's perfect. But that doesn't mean you can use this ship properly. So what you're going to want to do is look at your mastery. This gives you a kind of a slight overview by CCP that gives you kind of what the skills you're going to need to use this ship properly. So you scroll through, obviously things like this is what you're going to need to utilize this skill in any fittings that may be available. As you go through, they're going to get longer, they're going to increase your DPS and your survivability. So it's always a good thing when you're looking at what kind of ship you want to use. Also, it depends on what kind of ship your Corp or Alliance uses, because obviously shield ones are Minmatar and Caldari, and then Galante and Amar are the ones for armor. Another good thing to look at is if you have a little bit of extra money, some of these dual class ships, as I like to call them, that use elements from Amar and Caldari, or Amar Minmatar, Galante Minmatar, all that stuff. So obviously if you have high skills like I do in Cruiser, you could jump into one of these more expensive mid-range ships. They're a mix between the Caldari and the Amar, but they have shield bonus. You look right here, obviously they use shields. So if your Alliance uses shields and you're primarily using Amar laser boats, you could easily jump into something like that, and it'll help you fit in with your Alliance's ship doctrine. Obviously these are a little bit more expensive. Even the frigate ones are 50 million just to buy, so they're tier 2 equivalent of expensive. But then again, they also are usually quite better than their equivalent in just the Amar skill tree or the Caldari skill tree. So again, remember that the mastery kind of is a slight overview of how well you're going to do using that ship. So if you don't have a mastery, like say I wanted to use that Caracal, I got not a lot of the skills in it, so I'm not going to be able to use that as effectively as I'm going to be able to use, say, an Omen or a Zealot, because I have level 3 in it. So that's my video. Hopefully some of these tips will help you stay alive. Before I go, another good tip, I can think of them repeatedly, is to always zoom out. You don't want to be scrolled right in on your ship. Why? Because if Sass warped in on me right now, if she's not on the overview, I can't see her. But if you're out like this, you're going to see that person jump in and warp right to you. So it's a little bit easier to get a sense of what's on the overview and what's around you. Again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll be releasing more and more videos as time goes on. And if you are looking for a corp that's going to help you out as an alpha clone, feel free to drop an app to United Scrubs of New Eden, or come chat with me in the pub chat, USNE TAC Pub, or message me directly, and I'll be happy to chat with you. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day. Fly safe.